Hey folks, welcome back to this disk analysis and autopsy walkthrough. In this video, we are going to turn up on the other questions which we have left in the part 1, and let's just dive into it without going into anything crap. So, the question we left before was the name the network cards on this computer. So actually what I considered at first step is that I took the computer or the data sources as the original computer or the just not as a virtual machine. But when I actually looked into other things like checking out the logs and other files around of the whole operating system, then I found out that this was a virtual machine which was operating on Windows 10. As you can see, Windows 10 Home, it was on Windows 10 Home. So, if you have noticed around the virtual machine when you have installed the Windows 10, then you will know that most of those machines of Windows 10 or other type Linux type also uses a default network adapter which I will show you right now. Just give me a second. So as you can actually see, I have my Windows 10 virtual machine, and it actually uses by default the Intel Pro by 1000 MT desktop as the network adapter. It is the default. Virtual machine sets it up by default settings. So you don't need to go into thorough depth, but for the sake of checking it for our verification, I will drag you through the keyword search that will give you an insight about that. So let's do that. So when I searched Ethernet in the keyword, so I found actually the diagnostic logs of Windows where Ethernet was given, and the Ethernet also had the name of the adapter which was being used. So it actually verifies that we were on the right direction, we were correct. So it is the Intel R Pro 1000 MT desktop adapter. So let's just write the answer. So as you can actually see, we were right on this question of the network cards. Let's move on to the next. A user has his full name printed on his desktop wallpaper. What is the user's full name? So what the question actually means is that a user A has his desktop wallpaper with his full name, whatever the name of him is, whatever his name is. So the full name is printed on the desktop wallpaper. So how we need to tackle this question? For tackling this question, we must know where the desktop wallpaper is saved so that we can inspect that directory. Okay. So we need to know where the desktop wallpaper for a Windows user is saved. So I will just use the Google. Where does the wallpaper is saved in Windows? Let's see that. So it says c/Windows Web, but it actually means for the default desktop wallpapers. So yeah, this is not the one. Let's see another things. Store its current wallpaper. Let's see that. It has actually for many. It's for XP and Windows 7. But actually it means that we can see is that a user has actually said about this that default themes are saved into this, and any new themes are saved into this directory, and any other picture that you might have as a wallpaper is printed is saved into this directory. So this directory, as you can see, app data roaming Microsoft Windows themes. Okay, so in short I am saying, so if we have actually 8 to 9 users, we have actually 8 to 9 users on the current system which we are given, so we need to check for all of those, so it will be hectic for us. So I have actually done that, but I will suggest you all to do so. So do so, inspect the directory for that, check out what the things are there, check out the log, check out the settings, and check out if the full name or the name keyword is saved on that directory or not. Okay, so you can check the logs. I actually am not gonna give you the whole tutorial for that, but I am actually giving you the directory or the way to tackle this. So it was a correct answer for us. I said also that I am not going over the tutorial, the whole tutorial, but I am actually giving you a hint for that. You can actually tackle this question from another aspect also, which is open source intelligence. Okay, with the help of OSINT you can do so. So the hint is, you have to actually check out the web logs or the web history of this system, and you can get the things also, which is actually the users have visited their Instagram IDs. I am giving this as a bonus tip for you or a bonus hint for you. You can actually do so by that also. Okay, so let's move on. So the next question before us is, a user had a file on her desktop. Okay, it had a flag, but she changed the flag using PowerShell. What was the first flag? So actually the problem is saying us that if a user, let us suppose a user A had used the PowerShell, she has used the PowerShell and changed some of the contents of the flag, or a flag, or you can say a file. Okay, with the use of PowerShell. So in order to find out what was the change, or as you can see, what was the file on her desktop, we need to get into the PowerShell logs. If an action was done, so it would have been saved into the logs. So let us see that. And in this question also, we have to check for all of the 8 to 9 users. So I will short this out for you, and I will just give you the actual directory about the user which we are going to get over. Let's see that. So I actually found out that only the user named Shreya in this system had the PowerShell logs, and she has changed that. So let us see what is the content of the file. Let's see, go into the app data, and in the roaming folder, then into Microsoft, and here should be the Windows folder, and here it is, PowerShell, PS readline, the console history. As you can see, there are some metadata with us. So let us see what the data says. So the log actually has, as you can see, set content to this text file that as I hacked you. Okay, and this content I hacked you was added into the file. Okay, so we got the thing that what was being added in the file. So let's go down. So as you can see, the file actually has this as the flag before any changes. When this file was being written, this was the flag Harlequin for queen. Okay, so let us give it as the answer. I'm sorry, I will just have to write it. Harlequin for queen, and it is correct. So let's see what the next question says. The next question says that the same user, that means the user named Shreya, found an exploit to escalate privilege on the computer. Okay, what was the message to the device owner? Okay, so we have got the name. So let us see what the user was having on her drive. So let's go to the Shreya's folder, and if she had it on the desktop, yes, she had it on the desktop. It is named as exploit.ps.1. okay, so let's see what the content was there. Payload goes here. As you can see, it is giving directions. It will run as administrator. So the payload was about to run as the administrator, and the flag, as you can see, is flag I hacked you. And even there was an YouTube tutorial also for the exploit. So let's just write the flag, which is I hacked you. So yes, that was correct. Let's move on to the next question. The next problem with us is two hack tools focused on passwords were found in the system. Okay, what are the names of these tools in alphabetical order? So there were some password cracking tools or hack tools which were related to passwords and were found on this system. Okay, so we have to just find out the names of them and write it in the alphabetical orders. So before going anywhere, I will rather check into the downloads folder if any user would have downloaded the hack tool. So let's see that. Web downloads. I have gone into the web downloads, and here I see a suspected, or I will say a potential password cracking tool, which you can see is Mimikatz. Mimikatz. It is actually a famous password cracking tool which is available on GitHub. You can actually install it. So one of those tools is Mimikatz. Okay, as you can see, Mimikatz-trunk.zip. It is the archive of that. So I already have the information that there were some tools like Mimikatz. Okay, so let's see the whole list if the other tool is also downloaded or not. But actually it is not. Most of them are JPG files, or you can see that these are pictures. Okay, so let's see in the programs, what are the programs being fitted on the computer. Okay, so as you can see, we have here the whole bunch of programs which were available on the computer. So before searching into the whole list, we should look at the number of programs. The number of programs is almost 3148. That means more than 3000. So we cannot keep checking on every program that every program is a potential virus or not, a potential hacking tool or not. Okay, so we just have to use a smart work. In this problem, we will just sort out the username. So after sorting out the username, you will see that most of the system based programs will come on the top. Okay, so which have no username. Okay, As you can see, most of these are having no username. So these are not the programs which we are going to find, or which is a potential cracking tool. Okay, so we can easily exclude these files from our list. And I actually want to inform you that in the previous thing where we found that Mimikatz was installed or Mimikatz was downloaded, the user was of this name, H4S4N. Okay, so it is a very high chance that we will find the next malware or the next potential hacking tool in this user's folder only. Okay, H4S4N. Okay, so in the wake of doing a smart work, I will just do something like I will see about the H4S4N users data, or the programs which he was accessing on. Okay, so let us see that. Yes, these are the list of the user. Okay, here it is. So here are some programs which H4S4N could potentially access. Okay, so if we are going to get over all of these programs, then also it will be a hectic task. So we will just have to look by a very fast method. Okay, so by fast method I am saying that if you are familiar with those programs which you are currently using or know about, then just exclude them. Okay, as you can see, there is Firefox. I will actually exclude it very easily. I will see Smart Screen. It is actually a Windows program, so I will exclude it. I am seeing Ping Sender, and it is actually a program that I know is not a potential malware, or I would say a hack tool. So I will not consider it. Okay, so we will have to just look it very fast. Okay, without wasting our time. So as I search out, I am finding out that there are other applications related to Windows only. Okay, and I am going to find out Mimikatz also, the first hack tool. You remember the first hack tool the user was using? I am going to find out that also. Okay, so let's see where Mimikatz is. Yes, as you can see, it's actually small, very small. I will just do something. File metadata. As you can see, there is. I'm sorry. Yes, here it is, Mimikatz. Okay, so if Mimikatz is also there, then the other tool will be also here. Let's see. So I actually want to inform you that we have found the next target. We have found the next tool, which is Lasagne. Okay, I actually knew about it, or I would say I actually searched about it many times. So I found out this. Okay, it is named as Lasagne. Okay, so let's just write in the answer Lasagne and Mimikatz. Oh yes, it is the correct answer for us. So the next question with us is, there is a Yara file on the computer. Inspect the file. What is the name of the author? So there is a Yara file. I don't know what actually means about it, but I have actually researched about it many times, and I have got some information. So what we have to do is find the author of that file. Okay, so we have to check out what the file is. Okay, and we have to inspect it and then find the name of the author. So let's do some research. I've actually found out something from Google, and it was from the Virus Total's website, the famous Virus Total. Okay, so I've actually found out, and I will read it about for you, that Yara is an open source tool designed to help malware researchers identify and classify malware samples. Okay, it makes it possible to create descriptions or rules for malware families based on textual and or binary patterns. Okay, so Yara is a multiple platform running on Linux, Windows, Mac OS X. It can be used through its command line interface or from Python scripts with the Yara Python extension. So what this actually means is that Yara files are actually used for making rules. What type of rules? For making rules to classify the malwares. Okay, to classify the malwares. Okay, and we can use these Yara files with the help of command line interface or with the Python scripts. Okay, and I actually know that these Yara files are saved with the extension of .yar. Okay, these Yara files are saved on the extension .yar, and we have actually information for what the Yara file means, that it is to classify or make rules about the malware families. Okay, in the basis of textual or binary patterns. Okay, so let's see about the system what we have here. I will just make a keyword search of .yar. Let's see what the keyword search gives to us. So when I actually looked up into the whole list what we have here, I found that the Yara file was linked to Mimikatz, what we saw earlier, Mimikatz, and there was the link to the file. So I will just get to the file only. It is in the recent folders, and it is named as kiwi slash password underscore passwords. Okay, so I will see about it. Where is the recent documents? Here it is. So it is in the recent documents, and it is named as passwords. So it is here, kiwi underscore passwords. So let's see what the text here says. The text actually has some things, and we have to find the author, but there is nothing mentioned about the author of this file. So we just try to have another research or another keyword search, so that we can find out whether we can get into the contents of this file or not. So for doing this, I will just use another smart work, or I will say the thing you can say is that noticing with an example, that what the Yara file means. As you can see, the Yara file will actually include this keyword, that is rule. Okay, for defining a certain rule. Okay, so I will just search out rule. I will just do a simple search of rule. Let's see what we can find. We have to find a file which is related to Mimikatz. So let's see that. Here are some files. Yes, here it is. It is related to kiwi passwords, and it has the rule, as you can see, and the contents are also here. It has a description, and let's drag us down. Author. Here is the author name. So we have the author name, Benjamin Delpy Gentil Kiwi. Okay, so we have done this. We have used some smart works after noticing the Yara file, after knowing how the Yara file is being used, what the Yara file contains. Okay, so we will just do that. We will just mention the name Benjamin Del P, and there is parenthesis gentle kiwi. So yes, it is the correct answer. Okay, and the next question is, one of the users wanted to exploit a domain controller with an MS-NRPC based exploit. Okay, what is the file name of that archive of the archive that you found? Okay, include the spaces in your answer. Okay, so I actually don't know about the MS-NRPC based exploits, and many of you who are watching this will also don't know about it. So we can do another thing, which is Google searching. We will do we have done it for the Yara file also, and we will do this for this also. Okay, so we will find what is MS-NRPC, and I have actually found out that MS-NRPC is related to something which is a vulnerability, in the cryptography of Microsoft's net logon process. Okay, which can allow us to attack on Microsoft Active Directory domain controllers. As we saw in the question also, it can be used to exploit a domain controller. Okay, so I am on the website of Trend Micro, and I have found that this vulnerability was named as zero logon. Okay, and I have found out many things. You should also read this article or the blog which is given, and I will just share the link in the description, and you should also take a look at it. So getting close to the answer, I will just search out whether there is a file named as zero logon in the system. So I will do another keyword search. So let me just do another keyword research with the name of zero logon, and in the meanwhile I can do what I can do is check out the recent documents. Okay, so if there was a zero logon named thing, then I can find out that also. Let's see, but we have already found out the something about zero logon in the search. So here it is. As you can see, the directory or the path to that archive is given to us. Okay, c/user/Sandhya/downloads and the file name actually 2.2.0, and the date and zero logon encrypted.zip. Okay, so here is the name, and it is our answer. I will just write it in the answer to show you whether it is correct or not. It is dated as 2020, and 0918, and it is known as zero logon. Okay, and it is also having encrypted.zip. So yes, we have completed it, and yes, we have completed it with our smart work and with our researching. So researching is very important for us, and I have done plenty of research to find out these things like MS-NRPC exploit and Yara files, and I didn't know it prior to this prior to making this happen. Okay, so I have actually done some work. So I will suggest you, or I will recommend you that you should drop a like for me, and you can actually subscribe to my channel, so that I can have a support from your side also, and I can do this further. I can continue this walkthroughs for the future also, and I actually wish you a safe and happy day, and goodbye.